Connection established. Welcome. Today we will try to block annoying ads with the help of Raspberry Pi 3B Plus and Pi-hole. You can install Pi-hole on any Raspberry Pi model. In short, when you visit some website, Pi-hole detects domains used to serve advertisements, and instead of looking up the real address of those sites, it will send a fake address. On all your devices, desired content will pass through, and unwanted ad images and videos will not. Before we start, let me tell you what we'll need to set up Pi-hole. About hardware. Here is Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. In my previous video, with the title Raspberry Pi and Kali OS, I reviewed Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, so to find out more information about this beautiful small board, check video in top right corner. Next we will need is micro SD card, on which we will install Raspbian and Pi-hole. This one is 16 GB, but 8 GB should also be enough. To power Raspberry Pi, we will use 5V/2.5 amperes micro USB cable, and to ensure stable internet connection, we'll use UTP cable. All hardware and download links are in the description below. Now about software. With the help of Balena Etcher, we'll flash Raspbian OS on SD card. We will search IP of Raspberry Pi with Angry IP scanner and install Pi-hole over SSH. On the end, we'll set Raspberry Pi IP as a router DNS server, so we don't need to set DNS IP manually for every device in-house. I will also tell what other options you have beside changing router DNS server IP. Let's start. Open Raspbian website and download Raspbian Buster Lite. Go to Balena Etcher website, that is tool for OS flashing, and download it. Open it and select Raspbian image, zip file. Now, take your SD card, put it inside adapter and insert in PC. Etcher should automatically recognize SD card. If not, select it manually and flash it. If you get option to format a card after flashing, do not accept it. We need to do one more thing before removing SD card. To access Raspberry Pi over SSH, we need to create SSH file inside boot folder of microSD card. That will tell Raspbian to start SSH daemon on boot. Go to boot folder and create SSH file without any extension. I will create one in Notepad. But be careful to not save it like .txt file. And we are done with flashing. Now we can insert SD card to Raspberry Pi, connect UTP cable and micro USB cable to power up the board. Find and download Angry IP scanner. With that tool, we will find Raspberry Pi IP. Let's enter IP range and scan. And here we have Raspberry Pi IP. Now open PuTTY and SSH to Raspberry Pi. To see how to SSH, check one of my previous videos. Link is in top right corner. Username is Pi and password is Raspberry. And we are in. Now it's time to install Pi-hole. Go to description and copy command or type it and press enter. Agree with next statements. Select DNS provider. I will select Quad 9. Next, we will set static IP to Pi-hole. I will set it as 192.168.1.254 because it is free in my LAN IP range. Add default gateway, that is IP of the router. Pick yes for web admin interface. Log queries and install Pi-hole default rules if prompted. Now let's wait for installation to complete. I will speed it up a little bit. And it's done. Let's reboot Raspberry Pi with command sudo reboot. And we are done with Pi-hole setup. Last thing to do is next. We need to tell devices to use Pi-hole as DNS server. I can tell you 3 ways how to do that. And you can then choose which one suits you better. First way is to manually change DNS server IP on every smartphone, PC, smart TV, and other device that you want to block ads on. Second is to disable DHCP on router and let Pi-hole do it. If you choose this option, then first you need to go to admin page of Pi-hole, go to settings and pick DHCP tab. Mark DHCP server enabled and write desired IP range pool, router IP, and press save. After that, you can go log in to your router and find option to disable DHCP. Reboot router and reload settings page on Pi-hole. Done. Third way is to change IP and DNS server on your router. This is the option that I'm using. Go to your router admin site and log in. Find DNS settings and add Raspberry Pi IP as DNS server. Save settings and reboot the router. And we are done. Pi-hole should now start blocking ads on your devices. I'm using Pi-hole for a week now, and I'll share some thoughts about it. First thing that I noticed is that ads on YouTube are still here. As I read on Pi-hole forum, YouTube is loading ads from the same source as videos, and that is the reason why Pi-hole is not filtering those ads. If you know more about that, please tell in comments below. Let me show you how ads are blocked on few sites. First, let's visit sites without using Pi-hole. Yep, here we can see few ads on sites. Now, let's check out those sites using Pi-hole. We can see that ads are mostly blocked, but unfortunately some will still pass. All in all, I had fun setting up this Pi-hole on Raspberry Pi, and I'm very pleased with this so little thing taking care about so large amount of annoying ads. And that's it. I hope you learned something new and found useful information in this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like it, and if you want to see more content like this, subscribe. Good luck!